Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to my week 11 weight loss. Some amazing things have been happening here, and I just want to go over some things. I did quit smoking a little bit over 2 weeks ago now, and that's a big deal for me. Now, I've been struggling with smoking for many years. Think I started smoking when I was 13 years old. Cigarettes were pretty common. You could find them just about anywhere. Everybody's family smoked them. Even in the grocery stores and on airplanes. Courthouses were a famous place to find nervous people smoking at all times. I mean, everybody was literally smoking everywhere when I was a kid. So it was so common. Everybody started smoking. All my friends started smoking, or at least some of them tried to start smoking. And, I was one of the unlucky ones back in that time. But the main reason I'm talking about this is I decided to continue smoking when I started my weight loss journey. Now, that is a very important thing. And I talked to many health professionals about it, close friends, relatives, and stuff like that about the whole process on what I was doing and how I was going to go about things. So basically what I ended up coming up with is to continue smoking while I started my initial weight loss journey. And I started this weight loss journey and I was 435 pounds. So if you're new here, I'll go over a few things just to help explain what I've been doing. I started a series of fasting about 10 weeks ago. Actually, this is 11 weeks. So yeah, about 11 weeks ago, I started a series of fastings. I did a very extreme 5-day water fast for the very first fast, which ended up dropping approximately 30 pounds. That's a lot of weight. Now, after that week, I started mixing it up with different 5-day fasts, and not every day was perfect. I mean, we're only human. You can't do everything perfectly. It takes a lot of time to adjust, and it also takes a lot of time to, figure out what your plan is. And that was the biggest thing that I had a problem with when I first started, coming up with a plan. Always have a plan for the week. Not only have a plan for the week, but also have a plan for what you're going to do after you're done fasting. So after every 5-day fast that I attempted to do, some of those were incredibly ridiculous. Like I did a 5-day egg fast. I did a 5-day sardine fast mixed with eggs. I did some intermittent fasting, 24-hour fasting, 16-hour fasting, 18-hour fasting, and they all serve their own purpose. Now, the purpose of these fasts was mainly to lose weight. I was morbidly obese and exceptionally huge. I was about ready to be bedridden and stuck in a wheelchair possibly if I didn't do something immediately. So I spent about 3 months researching different types of fasts, going back into my history back to when I was a child. And I was thinking about things that I did when I was young that used to work. And I was kind of a religious child, not overly religious, but I used to attend church, and I remembered in church that we practiced fasting, and fasting was extremely important. Sometimes we fasted, throughout the week. Some people would fast 2 to 3 times a month, and others would fast either the day before a big holiday or the day after. And many religions study fasting, and I just felt it was a very important thing to get back into. Now, when you're fasting, you're giving your body a chance to rest, which is incredibly important because when you're sleeping and, when you're just giving your intestines and stomach a little chance to breathe, it gets things working a little bit differently. It gives it time to, what's the word I'm looking for? It gives it time to heal itself. So back to my main topic here. Let's see, I quit smoking. And as a result of quitting smoking, I kind of expect my weight to be minimal this week because I put my body under a lot of stress. Now, it was used to me smoking cigarettes this entire time. And I've tried losing weight and quitting smoking both at the same time. And that's a huge mistake. That is a plan for failure. So if you are morbidly obese like me and a smoker, and you're about 45 to 50 years old, there is some hope out there, but you got to do things in a certain order. Now, the first step is pretty simple. Come up with a plan and decide what you're going to do first. You're either going to lose weight or you're going to quit smoking. Don't do both at the exact same time. So my plan was to lose weight. I wanted to get some weight off. Then I was going to focus on quitting smoking. So I got myself down below 350 pounds if you watched my last video. And I feel extremely healthy right now. So I can get in and out of the truck. I can do my daily jobs and routines. I can do basically whatever is expected of me on the job site. Now, when I did quit smoking, I made sure to tell everybody that I was quitting smoking. I might be a little sensitive today. If you catch me acting out or saying something that I probably shouldn't say, then just tell me to shut up and get back in the truck and go drive. And the reason that's important is because not everybody knows exactly what you're doing, and it just helps them. If you're fasting, don't make a big deal about it. Just say I'm fasting when somebody offers you an unhealthy snack or something like that. And if you've been fasting for a couple days and you have a schedule, it's not going to hurt you to have something small. Just don't overindulge in things. So I did feel a lot of stress after quitting smoking, and then it was not that bad. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Now, one of the things I did look into years ago was at our Alaska Native Medical Center, we do have a smoking cessations program. Now, however helpful that program is to some, it wasn't very helpful for me. I didn't want to talk to people and receive counseling, if that makes any sense. At one point, I did try a drug called Chantix. That was a big mistake because it has some extreme side effects. So stay away from the drugs. Stay away from all the wish-away pills, even for weight loss. Just stay away from them. Just get your vitamins and nutrients from the foods you take or your morning supplements and stick with that. So the hardest part about quitting smoking for me is typically the first 2 to 3 days. And I did use some aids. I also looked into, in previous years, I looked into several items that they had available at the hospital, which was nicotine patches. Nicotine patches did not work for me. They were providing way too much nicotine and making me incredibly sick and giving me horrible nightmares. So that wasn't going to work. Now back to the Chantix they prescribed to me. I was on the haul road at the time, driving up steep icy mountains and hills. And Chantix has a side effect, and it's called suicidal tendencies. That's not a good thing on an icy slope. But anyways, I figured out the side effects of Chantix. I got off of that drug altogether, and I decided to go a different route. I tried some nicotine chewing gum for a little while. Now, the hospitals are also offering something like a nicotine inhaler, something similar to one of these things. Now, although this isn't the best option for quitting smoking, I can honestly say I see the reason why they're trying to ban these all across the world. Well, not necessarily across the world, but in America for that matter. And this is probably going to lead me down a different rabbit hole that I could probably do in a different video. But these little devices here offer the perfect amount of nicotine. And they also give you the sensation of, putting something up to your mouth similar to a cigarette. Now, the one thing I do like about these things is they don't have a button anymore. So you can put them in your pocket, you can take them with you, and they just activate by simply sucking on them. But like I said, this isn't exactly the best thing to do when quitting smoking. So at some point, I'm going to have to kick those things as well. Now, keep in mind, I'm not suggesting anybody try vaping. I'm not suggesting anybody do certain things or even go ahead, go to your hospital and try nicotine gum or any of the things that they offer, because a lot of times that stuff doesn't work. And in my opinion, I feel like most items are designed not to work and to get you back to smoking cigarettes so you can start supporting the tobacco companies again. Well, like I said, that's a different video, and I'll save that topic for another day. So long story short, I just didn't want to overly stress my body too early on in the weight loss process. I wanted to get a routine started. I wanted to have some results. And I also wanted to see, what I could possibly do to make my situation better. And so far, things have been going in a fantastic way. So we're going to go ahead and get on the scale, and then we're going to wrap up this video shortly afterwards. Okay, there we have it. Looks like this week's weight is 347.8 pounds. Now, keep in mind, I started out at 435 pounds, so that makes me down about 87.2 pounds in just 11 weeks, even with a couple slow weeks. And this week is no different than any other slow week. I'm down 1.5 pounds this week, which really isn't too bad. Now, just about every day my wife gives me a hug, and one thing that I do appreciate is she just wraps her arms tightly around my midsection, and she couldn't do that 11 weeks ago. I mean, she could probably barely touch her fingertips, if at all. Even my son, when he gives me a hug, it's a similar thing. He's like, "Wow, where's your body going?" And, that's definitely motivating and definitely a big deal. So take all the positive things that people are handing to you and just take them and enjoy the fact that you're doing something positive for yourself. I'm 49 years old and I'm doing something that I thought was literally impossible at my age. I didn't think I could do this. I didn't think I would ever be able to, drop 100 pounds, let alone 87 point whatever this is, 87.2 pounds in 11 weeks. That's an absurd number even to me, and I'm the one sitting here making these videos and sharing my experience with you. If you like these videos and you find these extremely helpful, or you could possibly share them with somebody else that might find some motivation behind these, that would be appreciated. Always comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a bunch. And we'll see you in the next one.